All right, once again, I'm gonna turn this music off for you guys so you can hear me talk here without all this noise. I gotta find my remote. I don't know where that went. All right, I think we got it. So basically, I'm doing another test fitting here. Hopefully, my final one with the good vibrations, the Pontiac 2005 Pontiac Vibe that I'm currently configuring for 2 adults. And right now it's set up for 1 adult, basically me, until my wife, joins me here. But basically it's configured right now in like entertainment and office mode. So you got this little front desk office area here and you can sit. I also allocated room there for the portlet, emergency toilet. I have not hooked up my second battery bank, but we'll be hooking that up here very soon. And that'll give the vehicle 200 amp hours of power with 100 usable, which means that it'll have as much power as Little Blue did. It's actually pretty comfortable because this vehicle is pretty much the culmination of about 4 years of actively living in a van. So I've tried to build stuff based on past experience with living in Little Blue as well as several other vehicles. So it incorporates a lot of stuff that I think would allow someone to live in it pretty much full time if they wanted to. The vehicle has at least 200 amp hours. I recommend at least 100 amp hour usable with 200 if you're going cheap like this. You can get these batteries for like under $100. To get 2 of them, there's one under there also, another one. So by hooking 2 of them up together, I have 200 amp hours. With 100 usable because it's lead acid battery. I'm going to talk more about that later for those of you who are confused or new to all this. But the reason we want at least 100 amp hours is it'll allow me to do stuff like run the TV, watch TV, play video games and stuff without worrying about the power running out. And I can also run the fans all night. I have like 1, 2, 3 fans. And I may attempt to run that little mini fridge off the battery system. Hey, Paul, how's it going? Daniel, good to see you on here. And George, good to see you all on here. I'm basically just finishing up the Vibe. And I think I got the design down. Right now, it's configured for 1 person because I'm probably going to be the primary person living in it right now until we're traveling. So it has this optional section up here that's removable. I did put it on like a little board. I don't know if you can see the little board there, but the whole thing comes up. It's screwed in right now, but it comes up and it removes these 3 drawers. And then I have to figure out what to do with the fridge or lose the fridge. But right now that little 12-volt fridge, it doesn't really hold much, just soda, or water or whatever. And it should run off 12 volts, which means if the battery system charges fast enough through solar, because I do have solar on here, but it's small. It's only a 25 watt cheap one from Harbor Freight. I would recommend if you can get 100 watts up here. If you can get 100 watt to fit up here, that should be enough to run everything. But I only have 25 watts. I'm going with what I have. I'm not going to spend more money on it. This build pretty much didn't cost me anything. Maybe $20 total because I used all pre-existing parts. But it's set up right now in office mode, which it probably won't be. In real usage mode, this is going to be a bed. But I just wanted to show that there is room for everything. There's room for the portalet, which if I was using it and I was living in it, I wouldn't have it under there because then you'd have to lift the seat up to get under it. But this is just for storage. But you would take that out and put it, somewhere in the front or whatever, so you can access it at night. Because this kind of stuff, it's important to know that when you need something like that in an emergency, you got to be able to get it within a few seconds. And this is just some water, a little container. I know it says laundry detergent, but it's just water in there. So a little bit of storage here. The seat actually folds down. I took the headrest off, so the headrest is stored under there so that the seat will fold, and can be stored. But up front, this is what I've got. If you were going to truly live in it, you need to have food. So this little cooler here could probably carry a week or more than a week's worth of food for 1 person. maybe even 2 people. Depends on what you carry, but probably carry food and water in there. You got the little mini kitchen here that can be used to cook food while you're driving. And of course the little table, you know, that can be put up if you need it. So basically you have to test everything to make sure that it's gonna be able to hold everything you need. Because if you're on the road, you can't go back to the house or the RV or whatever and pick up missing parts. So everything that, you know, you're gonna need, you have to be able to pack in and take with you. So, you know, in single person mode, there's a lot more room for storage and stuff. But in dual person mode, you know, this would go into the back when you're not using it, and same with the kitchen. And we lose the cabinets here, these 3 shelving, you know, I mean, these containers. But I would probably have a luggage rack thingy that comes up here to hold stuff. So, you know, that's something I'm working on right now. Some people had some suggestions that were pretty cool about making a table, because I was feeling bad about losing my table. But what I think we can do is like take this part right here, this thing that slides out, you know, it slides out, and you can take that panel and might be to just lay it down here on a ledge, as a ledge, and then get a leg, you know, one little leg that you carry. Then you have a little table that 2 people can sit at. So all I'd have to do is carry the foldable chair, and then I can have a little table for 2 or 3 people can sit and eat at it, you know. Because the chair's only about this high, so conceivably it could rest on that ledge, or it could rest right here, depending on how high the chairs are. I don't know how little the chairs are, but you could conceivably have a little table still. You know, and the idea is you don't want to make it so it's too complicated. All you have to do really is slide this this panel out. So, you know, it's not like a big table or anything, but good enough for 2 people, I think. Wanted to show how this all goes down. I think it's going to hit here. This should not take long to convert. You can see it's a little tight squeeze there, but that goes down, and then the bed's like this. So, you know, it's not like, well, trying to do this one-handed, it's not exactly easy. But so this is like single person mode. Of course, this clips here. Then this is probably the mode I'm going to have it in most of the time, you know, when I'm like camping in it or living in it. Sorry about this, I'm trying to clip this. But basically in single person mode, most of the time you're not going to have it in living room mode, you're going to have it in bed mode, because you pretty much want to crawl in here and go to sleep at night. So, you know, this will be like this, and the front seat, you know, you could move this over to the other side here and basically tilt the front seat forward. Well, I mean, I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I think I will, just to show you what it would be like. But basically, you'd have it set up pretty much in this mode, you know, and you tilt the front seat up. Let me try to find the switch here. Trying to do this with one hand, and I cannot. I need 2 hands for that. Oh, maybe I'm hitting the wrong thing. Yeah, hitting the wrong thing. And this goes forward. No. I can't do it. It needs 2 hands. But that seat actually goes down. And then, of course, your leg here, you know, can extend out, and you can sleep. You can even sleep like this if you wanted to, if you curl your legs. I've tested it out, and there's plenty of room. So with one person, you got plenty of room. You have entertainment. You can watch TV. You can play video games. You can do whatever. So I think this is a really good design. Probably my best so far. It is very small, but look at all the storage. You got these drawers that can be used from this side, you know. And then there's outside drawers that go the other way for like tools and other stuff that can be used over there. But a lot of these open inside, some, you know. And if you needed to, you can lift up stuff, which I just now lost my joystick. Which I'll get out later. But this stuff lifts up, it comes apart. So it's not like impossible to get anything. Same with here. This is meant for like tools and stuff, so it's kind of heavy. Meant to be used when you're outside. But on the inside, you can access this stuff if you needed to. You know, you lift your bed up a little bit. Your mattress here, it's not like hard. So you could just lift that up, slide out, and get clothes or whatever you need. So lots of storage. Maybe more storage than I need. I don't even know if I need this top part. But I thought I'd put it in there because it's got my it was in a little blue, and it had the thermometer and everything else. So this is you know, I think I can carry fishing gear here too. I'm still trying to figure out if I can squeeze it through there somehow, or just carry it for fishing when I go fishing with my kid. But ultimately, the fishing might have to be mounted somewhere, maybe even along the roof line there. The reason for trying to keep stuff inside is the stealth factor. Trying to make this vehicle not look like it's been modified, you know, other than the solar panel. And even this could come off because the vehicle can charge off the inverter. I'm not the inverter, the alternator, which is the normal charging for this vehicle anyways. This is just for trickle charging to keep the battery fully charged. So, like I said, I think this is a really nice system. You can check out my Vont lights. So I got these lights here. I also have this little switch for the light. This is battery operated. It's really nice. And of course I have my little tiny cheap free one. That's a free light from Harbor Freight for those of you who have bought stuff from Harbor Freight. So yeah, I think a really nice design. I guess my next step is to take this camping and see how it actually does, because my first attempt to sleep in this vehicle sucked. I had the bed, both sides were raised, and I had a double wide bed, which was comfortable being double wide, but the problem is it's too scrunched and you couldn't move around. With this layout, see, crawling in and out, I just like sit like a normal person, you know, getting into a car, and you can see I can scoot in here, and I have this headroom here. So there's like plenty of room. I can even sit and watch movies if I wanted to. You know, I can sit like this and maybe lean back and just sit and watch TV. But the TV actually moves, you know, it's flexible, so it comes out, and it's designed so you can lay down like this. You know, you have just enough clearance here to see stuff, but I can lay here on some pillows and just watch TV or play video games from here at this angle. And if I get thirsty, of course, I got the drink here. And some of you are wondering about cooking and stuff. The cooking, because I like to keep things free, is going to be mostly what I did when I was in Little Blue using the inverter cooking system, because I'm able to generate 120 volts. I can run my rice cooker and cook while I'm driving. And I'll just have a second pot so I can cook two things, you know, the rice and the side dish that goes with it. Or sometimes I'll buy like rotisserie chicken, something like that, that's already pre-cooked. So all I have to do is cook the rice, which takes maybe 15 minutes at the most while you're driving. But we might do some cooking episodes using that, just to show people who are planning on living in a vehicle and using a similar system to cook. I will also most likely carry a small butane stove that can be used either on the back kitchen table when it's set up, or at a campground or whatever. So, you know, that's another option. Maybe even for like camping trips and stuff, take the wood burning stove. You know, the one that I made out of the pan or the pot, or the barbecue one that I found out of the trash, you know. So, but normally I wouldn't carry that kind of stuff if I was fully living in this, because there's just no room. I mean, you could, but then it get crowded, you know, and it's like, how often are you going to use it? Most of the time, if you're trying to stealth camp and live in a city, you really don't want to be in your vehicle too much, other than for maybe using it to cook food and for sleeping. And of course, emergency bathroom if you need it. Some of you are wondering about a shower. I might go ahead and install a little shower in here just to show you how it can be done, or maybe I'll talk about it. You can see that it's got a built-in overhang here. If you were to run something here, you could have a little shower squirting down, you know, like one of those. Remember in Little Blue, before I moved into Little Blue, I had a shower system that was made with the bug spray, you know, the kind that you pump up with air and then it sprays water on you. So you could sit here, you could sit on this part and then have the shower showering down on you. And if you had a little pump or something, like an electric one, which I might do just for fun, I would normally not do that, because to me it's like overkill. But for YouTube, people like stuff like that. They like having a little shower in a micro camper. So I may go ahead and build a shower just to show you how it could be done. And because I do have a little 12 volt DC pump that I bought off eBay about 3 years ago, because I was going to install a shower and all sorts of fancy stuff in Little Blue that I didn't get to. But we're going to go ahead and install a little shower here just to show you how it could be done. But my honest reality-based experience tells you you don't need a shower in a little mini camper, okay? If you want a shower, probably join Planet Fitness or some other health club if they're still open. You know, if they're still letting people shower. So for anywhere from $10 a month to $30 a month, depending on, you know, the kind you join, you can take a nice hot shower. Here you would have a cold shower, unless of course I can show you how you can heat up water using the sun. Just let it sit on the roof, you know, during the daytime. But basically, if I were going to shower or bathe here with this car, I would do like I did in the woods, you know, when I was living at Camp Freedom. I just have some water, wet myself like Asians do, you know, in Thailand. I would wet myself down with the water, then soap up, lather up, or maybe even revert back to what I did in Asia, which is use a baking stone. It's like the smooth stone that you rub on your body, and it removes like dead skin and dirt, so you don't even need soap. But anyhow, you would clean yourself like that. Then when you finish, you just take the water and, you know, rinse yourself again. Or you could make the little portable shower thing that I did with the little holes. Then you can just tilt it and water will come out. So you don't use a lot of water, but you use real water. I know some people who live in vans say they use like dry shower with the powder and so that to me doesn't seem like it would get you very clean. It seems like you're just putting perfume on yourself to try to hide the stinky smell. So you smell like stinky flowers or something, you know. I prefer to have water where you can actually rinse yourself off. Now this water might not be enough, so you might want to carry like a 2-liter soda bottle, you know, like a 2-liter Coke, you know, the plastic 2-liter bottles, and fill that with water and then use that instead of something like that to shower. Because when I was living at Camp Freedom, I could shower with a 2-liter bottle of soda. You know, basically that included wetting down, rinsing off. You know, wetting down, soaping up, lathering, and then rinsing off. I was able to do it in 2 liters. So this isn't 2 liters. So this is here just so that when I go somewhere and I just need water to wash my hands or something, I just pour it. I know people get complicated, and if they wanted to, just to show you the design stuff you could do, if you have the money and you wanted this to seem more fancy, you could install like a little sink or something here and have a little pump. Looks like no light here, but you cut a little hole in your table here. Then you don't have the little table, but you can cut a little hole and, you know, put in a sink and then have some water and pump it and be all fancy if you really, really wanted to. And maybe I might do that. I don't know. I'm debating if I want to waste the time and the money to do something that I don't think is really practical. I think it's easier to just take a bottle of water and pour it on your hand and, you know, install a power system with a pump and hoses and then a sink, so that when you flip the switch or you move the handle, the water comes running. I know it's nice. I know it seems more like a house. And I know it looks more like now you have a real nice camper. And some people get into that, but my concern is when you do that, one, it costs more. Two, there's more potential problems because connections can be bad. You can get leaks. And to me, it's just not really necessary. You know, it's like if I really wanted to, I could use this back area as a cooking. Like if I wanted to run the butane stove, I could set it back here, you know, but I would open up air out and stuff. Oh, by the way, I need to install a fire hydrant. Yeah, fire extinguisher, not hydrant. An extinguisher, so that's kind of important. Also, while I'm here, I might as well talk a little bit about safety. Make sure you have at least one carbon monoxide detector and make sure that the battery's good. You test it every so often, just like I did just now, to make sure that that works, because if you're living in a vehicle, the risk of dying from carbon monoxide poisoning is real. And some of you are like, well, but I wouldn't be cooking in my vehicle or running it. Well, if you're stealth camping in a city and you park in a parking lot and somebody parks next to you and they're sitting there chatting with their friend on the phone or whatever, and their car is running, they are blowing exhaust out onto the pavement, and it can blow up and come up into your vehicle while you're sleeping. So those are the kinds you need to be aware of if you're living in a vehicle. So it's not necessarily your carbon monoxide that kills you. It could be because you're in a parking lot. You know, somebody could come park next to you, which they do, and they can end up killing you. But anyhow, yeah, it's a very versatile design. Just scrolling through here. Have you retired mobbing? Hoping that's not a rude question. I'm not sure what mobbing is. Hey, Paul, if you're still here, tell me what mobbing is. Have you retired mobbing? Hope that's not a rude question. I don't know what mobbing is. I'm just scrolling here. Yeah, I really do love this design. I mean, it's like when I was laying down testing it, there's so much room. It's with this design where you're flat on the bottom, it's almost like it was when I was in the van on the platform. So I actually have just slightly, maybe 1 or 2 inches less than I had in Little Blue. So the vertical space is very good. And because it's configured now with, one person in mind, it has this whole other area. So I can have entertainment set up ready to go, and I can compute and stuff. Like this back section could be removed and a printer could be put in, laser printer. And of course, I don't have the computer hooked up and stuff, but you can see there's plenty of room for a computer, the mouse, keyboard, keypad. It's a very nice design. And the fact is you can leave that back section like that and just hop in here and drive off. The only thing you have to move really is this, which is the food and whatnot. This is a good size Coleman. It's not super cold or anything, but the plan would be not to buy a bunch of frozen stuff, which I think would be foolish if you're urban stealth camping. I could even get by with maybe even a smaller, like half the size of this thing. You're only going to be saving food for like 1 or 2 days. I know people don't understand that or don't think about it, but if you're urban stealth camping, you have access to supermarkets that have frozen food. And if you're eating small, like a single person, Dollar Tree now has a frozen food section in most cities. So you can go get like frozen food, cook it up and eat it. You don't have to store the stuff. And what I'm talking about is, like they make those, they're not like the best meal or anything like that, but those $1 TV dinners. They sell them in Dollar Tree and Walmart for $1. So you just go pick one of those things up. And I've shown in the past how you can cook that with the rice cooker, with the electric. And you have rice to eat with it, so it fills you up. So you're talking about $1.25 for a meal for dinner. And you should be able to cook it within a few minutes. If you have the rice pre-made, you're talking maybe 15 minutes of driving somewhere. Like you drive to the Dollar Tree to get your food, and then you drive to your parking spot, and the food's cooked by the time you pull over, somewhere. Then you pull. You really don't want to park and then eat there because people might notice. We might talk about that, about trying to be stealth, because Walmart is cracking down on parking in their parking lot, sleeping overnight. So you have to kind of be stealth. And I think having a vehicle like this, a cop that really wants to look for you and cause trouble, they can find you. I mean, it's easy to spot. I can spot vehicles that have people living in them. But the more normal it looks, like outside, and like this shuts. Let's show you what it looks like when you shut everything. It's not exactly, see, and this doesn't have tinted glass or anything, but when you shut it, it just looks like blackened windows, I mean, if somebody came and peeked in, they could peek in and see, but, anyone can spot somebody living in a vehicle if they really, really look for it, okay? The main thing is if you manage to not create too much noise and too much distraction and stuff like that, most places kind of leave you alone. It's like when you come out and you start throwing your trash all over the place or taking a pee out in the parking lot, that's when it gets bad. Don't do that kind of stuff. But anyhow, I appreciate all your comments. I appreciate all your suggestions that you had. I guess we pretty much have the system down as far as I'm concerned, other than, if I want to paint the stuff. But I think I might just leave it with wood. You got to deal with possibly chipping paint and potentially bad smells and things like that. So I might just leave it in normal wood mode. Although I may paint the dressers, the drawers, to make it look nice. And I'm debating if I want to keep the red or if I want to go like a different color scheme, just to make this vehicle look different. Because right now, when you look at it, it looks a lot like Little Blue. Although it's got a desk area, which Little Blue did not have. And it's quite a bit smaller. I think if you have an actual Pontiac Vibe or Toyota Matrix, you're going to know how small this really is. I know in the videos and stuff, people look at this, they think it's kind of large, but it is look at it, it's a 2-door vehicle with about 2.5 feet behind the second door. So it's small. It's smaller than a Caravan minivan. Caravan minivan is a little bit bigger than this, just to give you a little bit of reference. And Little Blue, which is still here, Little Blue is like way bigger than this. So having worked with this vehicle once I live in it and stuff, I think it's going to make me be able to take advantage of a minivan even more, because every inch on here is kind of important. You know, it's like, look at the way the stuff was done. See, the drawers weren't slate, so I had to kind of weave things in, but you see there's no gaps. You know, and that wood's just there to kind of hold up the bed platform, which is also the table. So every inch becomes like critical when you're dealing with micro campers. Every little inch. Like all this stuff back here, that's going to be storage. So, and then even this little gap here, that'll be storage for something. Little tiny hole there. So everything, every little crevice, every little thing. But you don't want to just throw things in there. Honestly, the less stuff that you have to carry, the better. So, you know, it becomes kind of important to, when you finish it and you kind of deck it out, that you actually take it out and test it before you have to live in it. Because you're going to see exactly what you need. That's why, like, my seasoning, this is pretty much what I'm going to have, although I'm missing my peppers. So I'm going to get some peppers. But basically, this is my food, how I cook. This is what I use. I'm going to use chopped onions, which you see me use all the time. Some oil, cooking oil from Dollar Tree. And, of course, our magical Badia from Dollar Tree. This is $1, the small size. And you notice I might carry one extra and hide it somewhere in case I run out. But, and then cheap soy sauce. And, of course, our knives, utensils, you know. And this vehicle has a built-in here which can carry plates. So plastic plates can go here. I might even get fancy and have 1 or 2 ceramic plates. Just so that when I'm eating, because you can see I don't use plastic. I use real like, you know, like butter knives, real spoons and forks. You know, I use real utensils because they're better than the plastic ones. But also sometimes I use like even though it's heavier and can break, I will use like ceramic plates or something, china. You know, the reason is it just makes it feel more like home, like you're not homeless. You know, it's a little bit of what do you call it, like a little luxury. And that's one of the biggest benefits of living in a vehicle, honestly, if you've never done it. You tend to appreciate even little things, like having a ceramic plate versus a plastic plate. Having a steel or wooden, you know, spoon instead of using the cheap disposable plastic ones. Having the ability to have air conditioning. Well, this vehicle has air conditioning, so I can run the car's AC. Also, you know, electrical things like that, you know, having the ability to just flip a switch and you can watch TV, you can play video games and stuff like that. So some of that stuff we can bring to the vehicle, and like I said, if we wanted to, we could have running water in here. But I don't know if I'm going to build that. I might, just because I have a portable pump that I might want to play with, just to show you how such a system could be built. But based on my own van living experience for the last couple of years, I think it's kind of overkill. But maybe for YouTube, if I build it, you know, people will say, wow, that's impressive. It's like a little house. I think the whole point of it is you can make your vehicle as fancy or as simple as you want. And I know Timothy was talking about me and all my built-ins and stuff. Timothy's system tends to be more practical, like really, I think he goes for function versus transformer. Me, I like a vehicle that can do like a bunch of little stuff, you know, different things, and feels more like you're in an actual little tiny house. You know, like it looks almost like a little bedroom or a little living room. I like that. And I like the fact that I don't have to move things around too much. You know, it's like ready to go to sleep. I can flip that sideways and have a little workstation. It's something that when you want to reconfigure it, I don't want to even spend 5 minutes reconfiguring it. Because if you have to reconfigure it in 5 minutes, I know it doesn't sound like a lot. But if you have to do this every day, you're not going to want to do it. I can promise you that based on my experience living in a van. You want your system so that when you want to lay down to go to bed, you just plop your head there and you go to sleep. When you want to cook, you just turn on the rice cooker and it's cooking. You don't have to move this and plug that in and do anything weird. When you want to take a dump, you just pull that thing out, straddle it, and you're good to go. So, you know, that's the kind of stuff I built just from experience. You don't want, I watch a lot of the builds sometimes, and they're like, yeah, when you want to do this, when you want to eat, you move the bed up, and then you lift the table, and then you screw this thing in, and then you slide it in, and you clip this lock, and you have a really nice table. I'm like, yeah, you do. But if you have to do that every day, you're not going to want to do that. I can promise you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to sit down and eat, and then maybe after you eat, you want to go straight to sleep because you're so full because the food was so good. But in your case, you got to clean that table off, then you got to remove that screw, and you got to lift that panel up and slide it in and shift it in and lock it and then put the mattress back on, then you can go to bed. Whereas a system that's ready to go, hey, I just ate, I'm going to come lay down and sleep. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because, once again, we're talking about a house. You want to make it as close to how you live in your house as much as possible. You know, you don't want to make it so that you have to do really weird stuff just to go to bed, cook food or something like that. And that's why, like, you know, even a system like this for storing food, it's just a little plastic cooler that you could buy from Walmart, or you could buy, in this case, I bought it from Goodwill, you know. And if I wanted cold stuff, I can get a bag of ice and put it in here. But I would probably get the ice and put it in a little container and then have food here. So if I wanted cold food, chilled foods, I could do that. If I was going to camp off BLM land or something like that, if I do it right, this might last 1 week. You know, if I do it right. Because most of what I would eat is rice. So what would be in here, basically, I'd have ice and I would have, like, meats. You know, a lot of meat that could be cooked. And maybe eggs. Eggs can last a long time. I don't know. I can't stress enough how important eggs are, because typically eggs are fairly cheap in the United States, and they have high protein. And as long as you don't break them or anything like that, you know, and transporting them, you could eat 2 or 3 eggs per meal, and that's your, like, meat dish, you know. So those are all important. Just scrolling through here. I'm just reading your comments here. Good to see you all on here. LaTanya, email me. I don't have your phone number. Email me. Denoy.debor@gmail.com. Okay? Email me at denoy.debor@gmail.com. Kate wants to know what my favorite part about the van. Well, this isn't a van. My favorite part about this, you know, the van was huge. The minivan there is actually huge compared to this thing. But my favorite part about the van would be the space, and, you know, it was versatile and stuff. But my favorite part about this vehicle is its size. Even though the size hurts because it's so small, but the size also helps because with it being so small, nobody suspects that you're living in it. It's so small. It looks like nobody could live in it. It's so small. But the other thing about it is you get really good gas mileage on a vehicle like this. So I get way more gas mileage on this vehicle than I do in the van. So I can save money driving. And also it's in better condition. It's a little bit newer. It's got built-ins. It's got a DVD player with MP3, also Bluetooth, which I had on the I had Bluetooth on the van because I installed it. But it's got all the stuff built in. You know, so now I haven't lived in this yet, so I don't know if it's going to be an issue or not. You don't know until you do it. I do plan on testing it. My initial test on it wasn't too impressive because it was so squishy, you know, scrunched. But the current setup, I think, is going to be really good. Just by me laying down, playing with it. I was in it the other day watching TV and playing video games for like 3-4 hours straight, and it was comfortable. It was very nice. And I think if you know, if you run the fans at night, it also has venting on top here, so I can put like fabric or something on top of this, like Lyceum netting, you know, with magnets along the edge, and I can actually open this up and have airflow, and open these little windows and stuff, just a little gap. So those are things that still need to be worked out until I actually camp in it. But based on what I know from my experience with living in the van, I think this vehicle is going to be really good. just everything about it, fuel economy, the size, the fact that it looks so normal. It looks just like a regular car. You can't really tell that it's a little house inside. And it's got it's got all the benefits of 4 years basically of learning how much power you really need. And I think having 200 hours, that is really, really good. And I'm just going to scroll through here. I'm going to sign out here in a moment just to check and see if any of you have any questions or anything. Looks like everything's good. And Elizabeth wants to look at the Badia. This is what Badia looks like. But you can also get like other ones that are similar to Badia, like Adobe. Adobe has one called I think they also call it Adobe Sazon. But I think Sazon must mean like seasoning. Okay, so it's complete seasoning. Let's take a look at the ingredients just to see what the ingredients are here. I don't know if this will focus here, but it says dehydrated vegetables. You got garlic and onion. You got salt. You do have monosodium glutamate, which is MSG, which some people claim they're allergic to. But I don't really think it affects as many people as the people claiming it. It's just a thing where people jumped on it and said it was something bad. But I've been eating this for years, and I haven't really noticed anything too weird, other than going blind. and it says spices, but it didn't tell you what spices. Let's see what else. I'm trying to get this to focus here. Herbs and calcium phosphate, which is an anti-caking agent. So they got something in there that you try calcium phosphate to keep things from sticking. So not too much stuff here, but some people were asking if there was salt in it already. This does have salt. It doesn't have pepper, so it's not spicy at all. And I use it just because it makes it really easy to cook stuff. When I put it on the meat, I can put it on meat. I can also even make stir fry and put it in there, and it makes it taste good. And using this one mixture here, I don't have to carry a bunch of different, flavors. So this really simplifies cooking. Just scrolling through here. Hard Life says it's not a van, that's a 4-door. Yeah, this is I think they call them like crossover vehicles. It's a cross between like an SUV and a car. And actually it's about I think it's built on a car frame. And not just a car, it's built on like a tiny car frame, like what you would see in a Corolla or something. But the top, instead of curving with the back side and then the trunk, they give you this extra space like on an SUV. So you have all this extra height here. Let's see, this thing should shut. See, it was designed to come right up to the edge over here. So, of course, on the back side, we got this. This also swings out. I don't know if I showed that before, but this swings out so you could sit and play video games or watch TV outside. When you have a little vehicle like this, you really don't want to be in it too much because, it's tiny. But if you have this out like this, I can sit here and, watch TV on the outside and play video games on the outside. Just set up a little chair or sit at a table or something. So it's really, really versatile. And this was made by a little hinge. What I did was I took a piece of wood here and I hinged it. Then I mounted, this is like a $15 Walmart TV mount, mounted right on there. And this mount hinges, so it swivels. And of course it has a swivel here. And it can also tilt up and down. So it's like articulate, and it has a range of like 180 degrees. So you can be on the inside watching it, or you can be on the outside. And, we're going down the trench. Anyhow, you have the ability to basically use it inside or outside. And for storage, it folds flat against this panel. Then it just sits flat on the inside of the vehicle. So, really, really versatile. And of course, this little box, for those of you who don't know, it is what's running the game right now. It's the Legends Flashback. So you can get one of these little small gaming units for anywhere from $30 to $50, depending on where you buy it and how old it is. I got this on sale at Walmart for like $30. So it's got a little SD card, and on that SD card, I have like all these ROMs. You can download them off the internet. So this thing has like, I don't know, between 3,000 to 6,000 games. Yeah, this tiny little box has like 3,000 to 6,000 games. I'll never run out of games to play. And it's got 2 joystick controllers with it, you know, which allow you to play 2 players. So the solar system, I just ran the line here to my cheap little charge controller that I bought from, I think I bought this from Walmart.com. It said it was MPPT, but it's not. It's PWM. MPPT is like a better technology, which makes the power supposedly from the solar panel distribute in a better manner. You know, it's a lot more flexible and can adjust. PWM is like older technology, but cheaper. They claim this is MPPT, but it's not. It's PWM. And it's like a really poor build quality. It looks almost like a toy. It's plastic and stuff, but I've used it in a little blue, and it charges the system up just fine. So do I recommend it? Yeah. It was like, I think I paid $15 for this, but I've seen it as low as like $12 to $14. We're talking $12 to $14 for a charge controller, and it does work. So, you know, it allows you to, like here, I hooked up the cabling from the special connection, so I can unplug it here to the solar panel from Harbor Freight. I think this is better than the Harbor Freight one that they come with. You know, I bought the kit, and it had the controller, which was a piece of crap, that just either on or off. This one tells you voltage and everything. And then this, the other 2 lines here go to the house battery. That's where the power's coming from, you know. So, I mean, that's where the power comes in here from the panel, then it goes to the house battery. And it has 2 more ports for like power out from the controller. If I wanted to take direct power from the solar panel instead of trying to go through the house battery, I could do that. But I don't bother hooking that up. And of course, I've got a extension cord thingy here that can be used to basically, if you park somewhere, it has electricity and you don't want to run your system, you can just run that line and then plug the multi-plug outlet into that. So really versatile in where you get your power. All right. Hey, Laura, good to see you on here. I am going to go ahead and sign off. Let me go ahead and scroll through and just see if there's any questions or anything anybody has. Hard Life wants to know if I have TV on here. Yeah, this thing has TV mode. So I don't have my remote, but I can, let me try to get this out here so you can see it. Okay, we're going to switch, like the TV is actually on right now. So I can go to input. I hit my input, and I'm going to put it on like TV mode. You'll see it go to TV. Okay, so it's on TV now, and let it sit for a minute. A couple seconds, and you can see the TV comes on, but over where I'm at right now, let me try to get a channel to come in. Oh, wait, it did come in. I get like certain channels come in depending on where you are because it, you know, it's over the air. I have an antenna behind here. Just a regular antenna. It looks like the channel didn't want to come in anymore. Oh, there it is. See, so you can see it's got TV. This is regular TV. Turn the sound on just for a second to show you it does work.
Later identified as Lyle Moody, a paroled armed robber with a criminal.
So Lyle Moody, if you see him, report him. Anyhow, so you can see I can watch TV here. This is HD TV. It went out because the signal's a little weak in this area. So depending on where you live, if you're in the city and the city has a lot of TV stations, you can get a lot of free TV. And you were asking about Pluto TV. This thing is not a smart TV, but I have a Roku unit that you can buy from like Walmart, the little one, for $29. And what it does is it has like HDMI or composite, depending on the kind you get. So this can do, see, this monitor is really cool because it takes like VGA for computers. It has cable for antenna receiving. It has HDMI. It has composite signals, you know, RCA composite. So it has all these different inputs, which is awesome. But you could hook up the Roku to this thing and use this as a smart TV, which I may show. With the Roku, then all I need is a source for Wi-Fi. And if you're parked somewhere that has free Wi-Fi, like a library or something, you can hook the Roku up to the library's Wi-Fi system and stream and watch TV and stuff. You know, watch Pluto TV or YouTube or whatever you want, which I've shown in the past with Little Blue. I may do it in this vehicle just to show you it can be done, and it doesn't really cost much. It's $30 for the Roku streamer. If you don't have Roku, you might be able to get the Chromecast or some of the others, you know, Fire Stick or something like that. But I like Roku because it's cheap and it was simple. You know, I've had experience with it. So with the Roku, this little TV becomes a smart TV. And I don't know if you can see the little tag there. I bought this at Goodwill for like, I think I paid $25 for my TV. You can buy like a new TV that's about this size for probably $79, $69, $79 now. Prices have come down. And the newer TV may have Roku built in. So if you're looking to buy one, it might be worth checking out. I don't recommend getting one much larger than this one. This one's probably a 19 or 21 inch TV. I wouldn't get one that's much larger just because in a vehicle you don't have a lot of space, and inside this looks huge, you know, because everything is small. Everything in this vehicle is small. So even a little TV looks huge. But yeah, I'm gonna, you know, fix all the wiring and stuff. But as far as the front cockpit side, it's pretty much a regular vehicle. You know, sit in here and it looks like you're just in a normal vehicle looking in the back. I also have pretty good visibility. You'll see that it allows you to look right through to the back window. So in my, when I'm driving and stuff, I can look through the mirror and see, you know, I can also look out through the side mirrors, but I can look through the rear mirror. That's kind of important because you could get into accidents and stuff if you can't see out the rear. And I left the side there open. I don't know if you can see that. See the side window there is open. You know, you can't see anything, it's so bright. But that's left open so I can see when I'm driving, just like you drive in a regular car. So even though this vehicle is really decked out in like a little house, when you're driving it, it's still like driving a car. You can see out the side, you know, you can see everywhere. Robert wants to know how wide the bed is. The bed right now is about the width of a sleeping bag. So it's like a little bit wider than a single. And the other side, which is a platform right now, you're looking at it as a desk, it actually converts to bed also. So, you know, it'll sleep 2 people and it'll hold like a sleeping bag. So look at the width of a sleeping bag, not the skinny one, but the fatter one. And that's about the width right here. And yes, it is comfortable. I don't have just sleeping bag. I actually have one of those blue mattresses. And if you were building this yourself and you had some money and you were just building it from scratch, unlike me, using leftover components, you could buy like foam, you know, like the little bed foams or whatever that they sell, maybe even memory foam, and cut it to the exact width. And I would cut it, if I were making a mattress, I would get a sleeping bag and, you know, close it up. Then I'd measure the width, and then I would get the mattress and cut it to size and slip it into the sleeping bag. And that becomes your mattress. So you'd have the comfort of the mattress with the sleeping bag, adding additional comfort. Just scrolling through here. Hard Life says Amazon Fire Stick has a browser. If you get Amazon Fire Stick and you have a browser, then you might, depending on how good that browser is on there, I haven't played with it, you could conceivably use it as your computing device for surfing, you know, the internet. So you might not need a computer hookup. I have it so that I can hook up a computer so I can have a web browser and surf on there, but I can also play games like World of Warcraft. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and sign out. I've been on here way longer than I wanted to be, but appreciate all of you joining me. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit the subscribe button, tap the notification bell to get the latest updates. And if you haven't already visited and signed on to Pay It Forward, make sure you do that. So thank you all for joining me. I hope that you're staying safe wherever you are and taking care of yourself. So until next time, everyone, take care. God bless you all. Please stay safe. Bye-bye now.